Welcome to the One of a Kind Financial Show Daily. I'm Mike Milligan, certified financial planning professional, and this is day 5, the final episode of our U.S. Debt Clock series based on my upcoming book, The Partner You Unknowingly Chose. We've covered the national debt, your share of it, the $193 trillion in unfunded liabilities, and the American balance sheet. Today I'm going to show you the most powerful feature of the entire debt clock. And then we're going to talk about what you do with all of this information. If you go to usdebtclock.org, there's a feature most people miss. It's called the time machine, and it's the most sobering tool on the entire site. Here's how it works. You can click a year, past or future, and the entire dashboard reconfigures to show every single counter as it was and as it's projected to be. Click the year 2000. You'll see a national debt of $5.7 trillion, a budget surplus, a debt to GDP ratio of 58%. The country was actually paying down its debt. Now click on 2029. You see a national debt projected at 45 to 50 trillion, annual interest payments exceeding $1.5 trillion, debt per citizen pushing toward $150,000. Click 2035. Debt per citizen could reach $185,000. Annual deficits grow from $1.9 trillion to $3.1 trillion. The CBO's own numbers project the debt ceiling hitting $64 trillion by 2036. What the time machine shows, more powerful than any chart or graph I've ever seen, is acceleration. The debt hits 10 trillion, then 20 trillion, then 30 trillion in progressively shorter time spans. We're now adding about 1 trillion every 100 days. Herbert Hoover once said, "Blessed are the young, for they shall inherit the national debt." And the time machine shows you exactly what that inheritance looks like. This week I've referenced a lot of people, and in the book I go deep on each of them. David McKnight, Dr. Campbell Harvey from Duke, Ed Slott, Tom Hegna, Mary Beth Franklin, Ray Dalio, Warren Buffett, Larry Kolikoff, Jerome Powell. These people don't agree on everything. Dr. Harvey says we can grow our way out of this. Dalio says we're in a debt-death spiral. McKnight says move everything to tax-free. Hegna says guarantee your income. They approach the problem differently. But here's what every single one of them agree on. The current path is unsustainable. Taxes are going up. The question is when and by how much. Buffett told his shareholders last year that nobody seems to be able to run a deficit less than $1 trillion. Powell has said publicly that the federal government's debt is on an unsustainable path. Kotlikoff calculates the true fiscal gap at $244 trillion. These are not fringe voices. These are the most respected financial minds on the planet, and all of them are waving the same flag. The message is unanimous. If you don't plan, you will pay, probably more than you need to. Here's what I see every day in my practice. Most Americans follow the same well-worn path their parents and grandparents walked. Contribute to a 401k, hope the market goes up, and figure out taxes later. It's a cycle. Generic cookie-cutter advice repeated generation after generation. And it doesn't work, not in the era of 39 trillion in debt and 193 trillion in unfunded liabilities. Breaking that cycle starts with knowledge. It starts with going to the usdebtclock.org website and understanding what those numbers mean for your personal situation. It starts with recognizing that your retirement plan needs to address more than just account balances. It needs to address your taxes, your income, your long-term care risk, and the legacy you want to leave. And it needs to be as unique as you are. I call it the paralysis penalty, the cost of doing nothing. A 2024 Vanguard study found that retirees who delayed making strategic changes during market downturns lost an average of 15% in potential portfolio growth over the next 10 years. Waiting is the most expensive option. So here's what I want you to do. 1, make usdebtclock.org a regular stop. Bookmark it, check it monthly. Watch the time machine projections. Let the numbers inform your thinking. And number 2, ask yourself this question. If tax rates double in the next 10 to 15 years, what happens to my retirement income? If you can't answer that question confidently, you need to have a conversation with someone who can help you plan. 3, evaluate where your money is sitting. Is it mostly in tax-deferred accounts? That means the government is your partner on every dollar. Consider whether Roth conversions, tax-free strategies, or other tools might reduce your exposure to future tax increases. 4, look at the whole picture, not just investments, your taxes, your retirement income, your long-term care risk, your legacy plan. These 5 pillars, taxes, retirement income, investments, long-term care, and legacy, that's the framework of the one-of-a-kind financial plan. And it starts with taxes because that's where the debt clock meets your doorstep. Well, that's the series, folks. 5 days, 5 elements of the U.S. debt clock, and one core message: the clock is ticking, and the decisions you make today or fail to make will determine what your financial future looks like. I wrote The Partner You Unknowingly Chose because I believe every American deserves to understand these numbers, not to scare you, to empower you. Because when you understand the forces at work, you can plan for them. And a plan built on knowledge is the most powerful financial tool in the world. The book will soon be available. The Partner You Unknowingly Chose, an analysis of the numbers so you can plan. If you got value from the series and you want to know about the launch of that book, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Money Mike Unmuted. Go to my website, www.mikemilligan.com, or go to our company site, www.oneoakfinancial.com. That's the number 1, oakfinancial.com. Everyone deserves a financial plan as unique as they are. I'm here to educate, coach, and plan you all along the way. I'm Mike Milligan. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time on the One of a Kind Financial Show Daily. This has been Mike Milligan for the One of a Kind Financial Show Daily. Mike is an investment advisory representative with Advisory Alpha LLC. Ideas by Mike doing business as One Oak Financial is an unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. All content of the One of a Kind Financial Show Daily is for education and informational purposes only. Please consult with a licensed financial professional before making any investment, retirement, or tax strategy changes. See you tomorrow.